to the Model Works and to an update on the 65 Plymouth Belvedere by Mobieus. I apologize that it's been so long since I did an update. Really been busy at work and just first one thing and another. I actually had to go to the hospital about 3 weekends ago now. I guess it is on a Sunday. I had been not feeling real well, and I had been having at least what I thought was real bad shortness of breath. And it seemed to be getting worse, and started getting some intermittent chest pains, and not like the heart attack pains like you read about, the heavy weight, like an elephant sitting on your chest or whatever. Just some twinges of pain and in different spots, and it didn't necessarily come with the shortness of breath and all that. So sometimes it would, sometimes it wouldn't. So I decided better go ahead and get it checked. And so they kept me. Went in on Sunday morning, and they did chest X-rays and did an ultrasound on my liver and my gallbladder, and everything came out good with that. And they were going to turn me loose, and the ER doctor came in and he said, we have a stress echo cardiogram combo test that we do together now. And he said, I'm sure you've had those tests before. And I said, well, I've had them individually, echo, or I've been on the treadmill 3 or 4 times. Well, he said, this is a combination deal where we'll look at your heart with the echo first, and then you'll get up on the treadmill and we'll get it up, to 160 some odd beats per minute, and then, normal stress test, after you get it up to peak beats per minute, they take you down gradually, and that's the end of it. Well, with this test, they take you to your peak beats per minute, and then you lay right back down as soon as you can back on the table, and they continue the echocardiogram test with your heart under stress, and they look at the valves and the heart while it's under stress with contrast dye at the same time. So long story short, they didn't find anything. So I spent the night Sunday, and they did the test on Monday, and turned me loose. Said they didn't find anything. I said, well, what's causing the chest pains? And the lady cardiologist looked at me kind of funny and said, well, I don't know. It's just, but we do know for a fact that it's not anything serious. So I said, well, okay, that's good for me. I'm out of here. So anyway, so I've been feeling a little bit better as far as the shortness of breath and everything. She strongly one of the things that she said that my shortness of breath was caused from was lack of conditioning. I said, so out of shape then. She said, exactly. So anyway, so we've been walking and taking 30-minute walks every day. I've been walking some during my lunch break at work and at our office. So anyway, let's get past that. I want to tell you what we've got going on. I don't have a lot to show you. I have the block together with the valve covers, engine front, intake, and the exhaust manifold. And nothing's glued in here at all. I've just got the chassis and the interior, the seats sitting there. They're not glued down. They're sitting there. So I'll run through what I've got. We'll start with the interior. Door panels, chassis itself, the seats, and the dash are all Delta ceramic coat. Let me get it out. Something right here close to it. Delta ceramic coat. It's called Passion Red. Satin, multi-surface satin. The seat inserts. Let me get a pointer. That's not a good pointer. And that's not a good pointer. Well, close enough. The darker seat inserts is just this paint with a couple of drops of black mixed in. And I did some research online and looked at some of the interior on the Belvedere, 65 Belvedere, and what came from This is not going to be a factory stock build, but necessarily. But I went and looked at some of the factory options for the interior, and uh, with whatever color interior you had, as far as if it was red or blue, the inserts would be a darker shade of that color. So that's what I kind of went with. Just I found one online that looks almost exactly like this, a red and a darker red, not a burgundy, but just a darker shade of the red. And then everything was sealed with satin polyurethane. The floorboard has got Ken's fuzzy fur for the carpet. The chassis just Delta Ceramic Coat satin black, sealed with the ceramic coat satin polyurethane. The engine block and all of the components on there, the engine front, valve covers, intake. I believe that's all I have on there. Or is Testors Hemi Orange. Testors Metallizer. But this is brushed on, and I think a lot of people shy away from it because it says for airbrush only on the bottle, but that's not the case. You can brush on. This happens to be the Testors burnt iron metallizer, and basically it goes on water thin. I mean, it looks exactly like a wash when you first start putting it on, and the key to it is not to overwork it. Put it on, like I said, it first starts on as a wash, and then as you start to work it and it starts to dry, it starts to darken up. And actually this is just 2 coats. I dipped the brush in the paint one extra time from when I first started, and it turned out great. And this gives you the option to use the metallizers, but if you've got, like as in this case, just 2 little small pieces that are going to be the only recipient of a certain color, then you have the option to brush it on and use the metallizer. Now this is the burnt iron is the non-buffing, and the aluminum plate that's on the alternator that I have done is the aluminum plate buffing, and it buffs just like it would if you sprayed it with the airbrush or out of the can, either one. It just keeps you from having to do that. So I thought I'd show you that. And I saw a couple of pictures of some of the engines of the Max Wedge with the burnt iron exhaust manifold, and I thought it looked really good, so that's what I went with. Alright, that's that. I have the body painted, and I wanted to show that to you. And here is the body in paint. This is the Testors Model Master. Let me back out just a little bit. There we go. This is the Testors Model Master Classic Black Enamel. Mixed 1 to 1 with lacquer thinner. Shot at 35 pounds with, as I said, the old standby, the Pache H single action airbrush, 35 pounds of pressure. So I think this shows what you can get with a $50, $60 single action airbrush. You don't have to spend $275 on an airbrush, or $175. This is paint only, no clear. It's got some specs in it. I have my pressure up, like I said, 35 pounds, and my last coat, I like to open up the gun a little bit, and I opened it up just a little bit too much, and it tried to spit just a little bit, but no problems. There won't be any problems to wet sand out, wet sand and buff it out. But I think this paint just absolutely looks awesome. Nice. It turned out really nice. Now, like I said, I'm hoping for, let me show you I have the Steelies, black Steelies, and we'll hope for something along that line right there. for final stance. So nice little sleeper. So that's where we're, hopefully that's where we're going to head with that, and that's how it's going to look. I guess that's all for now. Hope looking forward to doing the airbrush video, the discussion on airbrushes. I think that's it for now. We'll call this one finished. I'll talk to you soon. Until that time, take care of one another. May God bless you and your family. Don't take any crap from anyone. Talk to you soon.